Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live, Financial Fitness Friday. Sorry we weren't around last Friday. Dave and I were traveling. That very rarely happens. Dave, what's going on, bud?
Hey, what's good, buddy? Glad to be back on, and Memorial Day on Monday as well. So it feels good to be back.
Yeah, right. It's been a. I don't remember the last time we missed two. Right, so we're good to be back. We're going to talk about momentum and momentum as it pertains to finances. Right, and I've seen this a lot. This happens in businesses. It happens in sales. And it's basically harnessing momentum. All right. And what I mean by that is when you know what it feels like to be on a winning streak, when you feel like you're doing everything right, your income's growing, your sales are growing, then you know what it's like to be stuck in like a middle ground. And then you know what it's like when it just feels like shit is not going the right way. Okay. And the point of this is that most people, okay, in sales and in business, when they have a big month, they take their foot off the gas a little bit. And it's not like they knowingly doing this. Nobody knowingly does this. You have to actually be aware of it. And most people aren't. And it's caused because you're saying, hey, everything's going well, everything's going well. You forget to do the little things that made it that way, right? You forget the little steps that you were taking, the little daily actions you were doing that were creating these wins. And so you take your foot off the gas because, hey, everything's going right. And then all of a sudden you start to lose the momentum because you aren't doing the things that got you there. Okay. You're not doing the daily activities. So if you're in sales, it's 100 calls. If you're in business, it's whatever you do to get and drive that business, whether it's ad campaigns, sales training, sales meetings, whatever it is. Okay. I've had some of my best agents. Okay. I had one agent made 60,000 in a month. Okay. Great month. And he never hit that again. And in fact, every single month after that was down, down, down until he just stopped. And basically, what happened was he had such a good month that he was living on a high and he never was able to put the work in again that created that $60,000 month. All right. And that is human psychology. And a lot of people call that a glass ceiling, right? So you're kind of like a thermostat. And Ed talks about this a lot. If if your internal temperature is set at 68 degrees, when you start operating over that, okay, you do things to cool that down unintentionally, okay, subconsciously. Now, if you think if your thermostat is at 69 degrees and you're operating under that, okay, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get you to that level. All right. And what that means is you basically will work to the level of your worth, okay, in your mind. And to be able to consistently make more, you have to expect to make more. You have to make that the routine. You have to go in and figure out a way to reset that internal thermometer instead of being at 69 degrees, maybe 75 degrees, right? And the idea is just raise it up and raise it up and raise it up. So your baseline keeps raising of what you expect out of yourself, what you know you're worth, right? That's the real way to break through that and build momentum. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we've all been guilty of it at some point, right? It's a win that you celebrate, but the problem is you celebrate too long. You know, we call it funny enough. We call it Al Bundy syndrome, right? You talk about what you did in the past, like, hey, I got here and I made this, and then you fizzle out. You're going to talk about your 4 touchdowns in a game that happened 30 years ago. And it's unfortunate. Somebody on your team, like you said, they never hit that again. And I think the most important thing, guys, Tim Grover talks about this in winning. It's, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, those guys, those high level performers after they win a championship. It's, hey man, what are you going to do next? I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready to work on the next one. They party for 24 hours and that's it, man. They're done. They're on to the next one. They're not living it up for off season or for a whole summertime. And most of the time, when you see that in sports with some of these teams, these non-dynasty teams, that's the truth, man. They never come back. They have a crappy season. Then a lot of people get cut or traded because they live on that high, on that one championship. But I think the most important thing is in business, when you reach a certain goal, do what you're doing, but double down on it, right? Like if Jonathan said, if you're going to make 100 calls, okay, what's the next step? Let's shoot for 120, 130, make it a stretch goal, make it 150. Okay. You double down on it. If it worked the first time, what's the force multiplier that's going to push you over to the next time? It might even be hey, if I need to buy back some of my time to get this 150, what's going to buy me back some time? Do I need to hire somebody else? Do I need to fulfill a position? Do I need to create a position? Right. So now if you're looking at that lens ahead and filling those gaps and those voids to hit that next goal, that momentum is going to keep going and going and going. It should be for us. Like I like to look at it in a 90-day blast, like in quarterly blast. Okay, let's go. How do we get there in 90 days? You give yourself enough time that when you're hitting out of those 90 days within 30-day increments, okay, did I win or did I lose this first 30 days? Okay, if I lost, why? What's next? How do I come forward in that next 30? Or even if you won, all right, cool, I won. How do we get the next 30 days? What's the next target to hit the whole 90-day goal? And keep doing that over and over again. There's no worse feeling to me. And it's happened, right? Like it is. Like we'd all be sitting here lying through our teeth if we said it never happened to us before. But there's nothing worse when you get a good win, you hit a goal, and then you throw your feet up and you're like, I'm good, right? When you kill that momentum, there's no worse feeling than trying to play catch up again, because your mind's all over the place. You think you got to do something crazy to get back there when realistically do what got you there in the first place. And it's not healthy, man. Mentally, you're going to lose your mind. It's better to just keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think most people, when this happens, it happens subconsciously, right? They're not aware of it. If you haven't seen it over and over and over again, you might not be aware of it either. So that's, it is what it is. You just have to buckle down and do what you need to do to keep that momentum, right? And raise that internal thermostat. And a lot of that can be done through scheduled actions. Like if you know you're somebody that operates off feelings instead of discipline, right? Then you got to include more discipline. What does that look like? Schedule out your activities on your calendar. Okay. If you're being told what to do every second of the day, you're either going to do it or ignore it. And if you know that, hey, this is what I need to do to be successful, you're going to do it. All right. And it's doing the work no one else wants to do. It's doing that project that you keep putting off, that you say, oh, I'm going to get to it. And you just don't get to it. Okay. Those are the things that really kill your momentum. Like when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, okay, you lose that confidence. You made a promise to yourself you didn't keep. Okay. And it is so important to keep those, right? Because that's really what kills momentum, kills drive, is when you think you can't count on yourself. All right. Having that discipline and scheduling it in is a great way to avoid that, guys. I think that's huge.
I believe it has to be written down in some manner, because if you don't write it down, if that, either on a list or, in your phone blocked out, if you don't write it, type it, whatever, and see it, it's never going to happen. You're just going to sit there in outer space and be like, oh, what's next? What do I got to do next? And especially if you can dial in those time blocks, you'll actually create more time, not create, but create more available time with what you have by being really locked into that. Like I said, man, kudos to you, because you're one of the best at that. So to learn to really dive in, through that hour, is the 15-minute increments, is the 30-minute increments. Do your whole day like that. And when you do your whole day, you can screw around at night, because number one, you've earned it. Number two, you've probably gotten more done in that amount of time up to 6 o'clock at night than you did in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Here's another one for you guys. Okay. We were talking about, scheduling things, getting things done. The Pomodoro method, okay, is you work hard on one task for 25 minutes and then you get a 5-minute break. Okay. I schedule increments in my calendar for a half hour. Why do I schedule everything in my calendar for a half hour unless I know it's going to be longer? Well, I do that because I want to work on the Pomodoro method, right? So think about it like this. I'm doing whatever I'm doing in that block for 25 minutes. And then after the 25 minutes is up, 5 minutes to regain my bearings and do whatever I need to do. All right. And that has really helped me. All right. I get done more by probably 12 or 1 o'clock than most people do in their day. And the reason is everything is scheduled out using the Pomodoro method. All right. So give that a shot. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And you'll see like it works and it allows you to lock in. So I hope that helps you guys. And we will catch you on Mindset Monday. Take care and have a great weekend.
Awesome. Be great, y'all.